Okay, straight to the point. We are talking about court administration and case management. Attorney General, I think I will be leading you to raise the curtain for us. What exactly are we talking about when we talk about court administration and case management, especially as it concerns digitizing the judicial system?
Thank you, Chika. Let me sincerely, on behalf of the Executive Governor of Ebonyi State, Right Honorable Francis Obonna Wifru, welcome PPDC to Ebonyi State and thank them highly because they are turning our aspirational legacy into a reality. They've seen the problem we have with the management of our court system. We're still battling with the analog status of our justice system, and it was an issue of concern, and then we had to approach them to come and intervene. There are so many states in Nigeria, over 36, and Ebonyi State is so lucky that out of these states that are experiencing the same problem with us, Ebonyi, Oyo, and FCT got their prayers answered by Public and Private Development Center. They are here to assist us in our court administration and case management. What it entails is now they have accepted to be here, and they are here at no cost. It's part of their corporate social responsibility as an international or non-government organization. They are here to help in automating and digitalizing all our court system and processes. They are also here to donate to Ebonyi State government virtual hearing devices, speech-to-text machines, wherein the courts, the judges, the magistrates will stop writing in a longhand. This technology will help them while they're in court. They only listen, take some notes. At the end thereof, they match the system records for them, and they just edit one or two things and print it. It helps. And then it also increases the number of cases they handle in a day. They are going to be establishing this in the Ministry of Justice, establishing this in the court, the high court premises, and in the prison. Now, the people who ought to be coming to prison, some of them may be having their hearings from the prison instead of bringing them to our courts. And this will now encourage the judges in dispensation of justice, and then reduce the caseload that we have. Today, we were able to visit the Nigerian Correctional Service, their Abakaliki Custodial Centers, and we discovered that the inmates that facilities were housing is 1,263 inmates, as against the capacity of 387 inmates. So with what they are doing now, they are going to be having these digital courts in the prison, wherein people who have excuses that they are not produced in court, their matters can be heard in prison or the custodial centers, and there will be no excuse. Judges can sit comfortably in their chambers and in court without the production of an accused person or a criminal defendant hear a matter and give judgment. So this is what this project is all about. But one good thing that they are doing is that they are doing this thing for us at no cost, and it helps us in our evidence management. It helps us in profiling pre-trial detainees. It helps us in fast-tracking our hearings in the court. So it's a big development. The beauty of the glorious aspect of this is that Ebonyi is the only state in the whole southeast and south-south that is enjoying this practical kindness of public and private development center at no cost. And we are glad and eternally indebted to them. But all I want to add here, Chika, is why they are out to intervene and help us in this. I've discovered that judges, with due respect, judges, judicial officers are no good managers. The only way this thing will work is, we're also going to talk about it, for us to have court CEOs, court managing directors that will man this.
You know, I was actually coming to that when
Yes,
you
sir.
said it will help speedy deliveries. And
Yes,
I still know that the lawyers, the judges, the magistrates will still be the ones who will be handling this. Now, automating or digitizing this, how exactly is it? But you're coming out of it.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. I am the Attorney General. The person who is the HOD admin of my ministry is not a lawyer. She has masters in public administration. So she's in charge of the day-to-day running, because she knows I'm not a good manager. I'm not a good administrator. So the HOD admin, who is not a lawyer, is in charge of the whole ministry. So if we have a non-lawyer who has a degree in public administration, who can manage this in our court, it will give us an expected result. Because if we leave it to the magistrate, leave it to the judge at the end, it will just be business as usual. We'll just try before you know it. So, and we now employ a court manager. The duty of the court manager to see that these facilities are in place. The duty of the court manager to see. So when you now get someone who is not yet a lawyer, but who, because I know once they are done and they are gone, we may not be able to sustain it. But if along the line we are doing it, we have it at the back of our mind to get an administrator who will man this when this project is out.
The manager, where is he taking orders from?
He said?
Where will the manager be taking?
The manager will be taking order from PPDC until they hand over. Once they go, the manager will be answerable to the High Court, to the Chief Judge of the state.
Because I'm afraid, somehow I'm suspecting that when he is or she is to take orders from the said people who have been, seen as maybe not good managers, they can still...
No, for now, like I said, this is a project, is their project. They are just intervening. But even me, I take it out. For now, I'm under them until they hand over properly. Once they hand over, the person will be answerable to the CJ until we get an expected end. Like I said now, in the Ministry of Justice, the head of department, the HOD of admin is not a lawyer. And since the creation of Ministry of Justice in 1996 to today, we've never had a lawyer who is HOD admin. It's someone who is an administrator by excellence. So if we get that to man this project, I am talking about the perpetual succession of this project, so that once they are out of this or they have handed over, the manager will now continue and be answerable to whoever that is the chief judge of the state. And this is the only way, because this project is a project we must guide jealously as a state. And while we're doing so, we must have it at the back of our mind, thank God they are here, that we must get a manager who will be trained along while this project is on, so that the duty of this manager, it must not be a lawyer, a good administrator, who will manage this very well for this to have perpetual succession.
Thank you very, very much. I'm going to give you a little break to take some water. I'm coming back to you. I'll come back to you. But for now, let me talk to you, dear CEO, Lucy Ebonyi. Exactly what are you planning on doing to make the judicial system formatted to what you really want?
Lucy is a chief, so add Chief Mrs.
Okay, let me start afresh. So, Chief Mrs. Lucy James Ebonyi, CEO. Okay, please.
All right, good afternoon, good evening, Ebonyi people. We are happy to be here. One key thing that we should be looking at is, in reality, people complain that my brother was arrested, he was detained, and we've tried everything, and my brother has not been released. This is, at least if you visit a family, or maybe up to 10 families, you sample your opinions, you get at least 4 or 5 people that have experienced this. And so when you go back and we start calling on the government, there's actually nothing the government can do for us if they do not have the seamless process to do this. In essence, if you go to the court in practical too, and maybe you have a case and you are a witness and the judge is collecting your statement, one thing that you observe is that the judge is writing. And when you pause, when you're talking too fast, you say, Madam, pause, I did write,
Okay.
That's because he's doing money. And so, put yourself in the shoes of the judge. He's a human being. He can only do that maybe for, if he's a very hardworking person or very healthy judge, can only sit down there to, you know, listen to about just 10 cases before, you know, fatigue comes in and is tired. So that is part of what, you know, will contribute to this number that the Honorable AG has spoken about, that we met today, over 1,260 something, and the Correctional Center can only hold about 300 and something. The judges attending to these cases are human beings, you understand? And crimes, you cannot stop people from committing crime. But how do we ensure that even in the increasing number of crimes, we have seamless processes for their cases to be read? Another angle of it is that, you know, people have served their time in prison. I don't know that. Maybe they just stole pots. We have cases in some states that somebody was detained for stealing pots. And the person has served over 6 years or thereabout before his case was heard for stealing pots. Are we together? Now, if this process continues like this, currently we have over 70,000 pre-trial detainees awaiting trial in Nigerian correctional centers. That's the cumulative, and these figures is just the one that we know that NCOS, that's Nigerian Correctional Service, have uploaded. We don't actually know the numbers to compare because the only people that house this data. That's to say that for every family in Nigeria, you are at risk of having your family member housed, let me use that word, housed in prison without seeing a judge to hear his case. I'm bringing it practical. Now, 2 years or 2 years plus ago, we got resources, the PPDC got resources from the United States Agency, International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs to digitize court processes in Nigeria. Before then, what we did was to do a thorough assessment to see what was on ground. And you know, and we went to court, we went to the magistrate court, we went to high court, we went to customary court, we went to prisons. And you could see evidently, you will see evidence files, you know, wrapped up, you know, like Honorable Age has mentioned, there were no good administration for it. There were no storage facilities for it. So some people might not even be able to appear before a judge because their evidences or their case files were not found. You understand? So you see if someone would have served and stayed there without ever appearing in the court. So we submitted this assessment to USAID, and USAID granted us these resources to do a pilot study in 3 states, Kaduna, Plateau, and Nasarawa State. Luckily, this state absorbed this process because this is institutionalizing and strengthening the justice system, and we can't do this without the government. So the government must actually be ready to partner with us to help strengthen their judicial system. And this 3 states accepted that we pilot this project in the state. And when we're doing our assessment, we saw that the time that most judges that have accepted this in their court, you know, have spent and reduced from 4 hours to 4 minutes maximum for you to hear one case. Why? Because the judge is not writing. Everything is automated. So all the court processes, both video and audio, are being documented. And after the court proceedings is being printed, the judge will vet it and then submit. So you see the process is seamless. That's one part of it. Then the second part of it is that, of course, we know that there are, you know, inmates or waiting pre-trial detainees that, you know, are very high sensitive cases and cannot be transported anyhow. We were in Lafayette to assess our work 2 months ago. And then one of the outcomes was that the Comptroller General said, look, what people have done for me has been massive because we do not have enough vehicles to keep transporting people from the correctional center to the court. But the fact that you have a virtual court hearing system, you know, mounted in our prisons has enabled us to sit down here and listen to high sensitive cases. Maybe case of terrorism that you know that people cannot travel without adequate security. Now to come back to your question, I wanted to paint a very good scenario so that Ebonyi people can appreciate the government for, first of all, opening the door for us to come. So after the pilot phase, we were successful after an assessment, and credit to Kenneth who is here, and also I want to mention that he's the son of the soil, you know, who is here, and he ensured that, of course, you cannot be, the charity begins at home, and I'm a very good proponent for that. So we did an assessment and presented other states, not just Ebonyi State. But Ebonyi State came out as one of the approved states for this same system, digitizing their court processes to be brought as a pilot for 1 year. This is to say that we are going to be working with the Honorable Attorney General, we are going to be working with the Chief Judge of the state to ensure that they form what we call the PAC system. That's like a committee that is comprising of both the Chief Judge, some lawyers, the Correctional Center, the police, some other judicial stakeholders that will determine which court will qualify for the systems to be assimilated. Notwithstanding, we are not forcing it on even on the judges, because there are some states that we implemented and they just say they don't want. They want to continue their manual process. You understand? But we want to say thank you to Ebonyi State that has opened the door, notwithstanding to accept us. That's to say that moving forward, if you go to some courts that will make it via the verification process to be enlisted for this, you will see that when you go in there, there are documented processes. They are well-archived system. Evidences are well arranged, automated, so that you can make references to case over time. The Chief Judge can sit down in his office and ask for cases that have been tried within that month. And he doesn't need to travel anywhere, he doesn't need anybody to bring loads of paper of evidences to him. But just from his system, we'll be able to assess what has happened so far in Ebonyi State. Now, I'm going to the end so that I can allow other people to talk. What do we want to see by doing this? We want to ensure that, first of all, that justice is served. That everyone, no matter your status, no matter your grade, no matter your class, you can access timely justice. That is to say that there will be reduction in the number of hours, in the number of days, in the number of months, in the number of years that your case is pending to be heard. And also simultaneously, it will result in reducing the number of people in detention, meaning that if we have 5 courts and they listen or they try 20 or 100 cases, imagine if judgment is passed. So people that have served that time or need to serve that time will know that I have two months, I have 3 months. Let me serve my time and leave, rather than you just staying there till thy kingdom come. You understand? Then the third part of it is that it's going to strengthen the office of the governor. That is to say that you have more young people that are mentally ready to contribute to the socio-economic status of the state. Not having young people serve time that they don't deserve to in the custodial center. And lastly, we've also gotten a very good commitment from the state. We came in today, and like we mentioned, I think we need to mention here that the Attorney General has given us a key to our own office in Ebonyi State that will allow us to operate very seamlessly, and has made commitment that the state is going to ensure, not just ensure, the state is going to provide a counterpart funding that will ensure that we expand this project, sustain this project, to other localities that will not benefit from the pilot, but we're here for 1 year. And so this commitment is very important because there's also room for expansion. Other states have gotten expansions. So if we are piloting in Ebonyi State and they do well, it means our donor also will be grateful and see that there's result, there's reduction in number of awaiting pretrial detainees, and there is fast processes in the court and justice system. So this also depends on the partnership that, of course, we've gained from the Attorney General himself today. I want to say thank you so much for having us. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. God bless you. I think I like the energy. I allowed you to say all this because the energy is there, and I'm seeing commitment. Hallelujah.
Are you preaching?
Okay, well, there's this part. I asked the Attorney General that question, and it's on you. Because when I gave him the question, he pushed it to you. He said, they're answerable to you. So what exactly are you going to be doing? Because I'm very sure, okay, you have about 3 states out there, and you have this now.
Yeah, we have this. Okay,
that means, and it's not possible for you to be, operating in all of them at the same time, because they have the same Monday will have days what they have up there and stuff like that. Human beings will be working on this. Aside being old, even the young can be Black City can still come. How do you intend to check that?
Okay, so this is not the number 4 state. This expansion is happening in 2 other states, so
Okay.
that's 6 states.
6 states, yeah.
And beyond that, another component of the budget has about 5 states in it, so that's a lot for us. And that's why when I responded that the Attorney General has given us an office, meaning that we're going to have a team stationed in Ebonyi State 24/7 for 1 year.
All right.
So that is going to help ensure that this project is implemented to the books with value for money and value for the citizens. So systematically, we are not just coming to install and go. There will be series of trainings. We are going to be training prosecutors, we are going to be training clinicians, we're going to train lawyers, we're going to train administrators at the court. Because part of what we are doing, if we don't train them, they cannot handle it. So there will be series of trainings. Series, not just going to be a one-time. I'm sure that we have a plan for quarterly training for court administrators. And also, that's part of the commitment that the state is going to make. Because when you go to civil service, you see that they can transfer administrators to and fro. So the state is also going to commit that the people that we train, at least will get stationed in those centers for at least a 2 to 3 period of time. And when they are leaving, we'll be notified to come back and retrain. And let me just mention again, that is for 1 year pilots, meaning that if the state cooperate with us, if the states, provide their own necessary support, there might be chances for us to go back to the donor and say, come and evaluate Ebonyi State. And if they come and do evaluation in Ebonyi State and see that, for instance, in this correctional center that we went to in the back today, there's a reduction from 1,000 to maybe 600. That's result. The donor will see that, yes, these people are ready for partnership and could then offer an expansion for us to do more state. But the idea is that as much as we are doing this, it is important that both the state and the citizens cooperate with us. Because PPDC will go, the donor funds will finish. You understand?
Thank you very much. I want you to start making arrangements to move on, because we definitely will give you all the enabling environment. I know I don't know. And I know this one. So just go home and start making plans, because definitely the pilot will exceed 1 year. That's just the truth. Let me come to you, brother. In the first place, I want to appreciate you. They said they picked it up. It's Nasarawa, Guinea State, and the other state. And other people fired it because you're a son of the show. You chose to add your own, because it's a mark that, okay, a patriotic citizen at that. I come from somewhere, and they also need this. And lucky enough, your grace, the grace that you carry, made your car fly, and we are here. God bless you, my dear brother. I think you tell but that's by the way. Now, when the Attorney General was saying something, he made mention of, it's no longer a case people must come from, if I got you very right, people must come from the correctional center to the court or not doing, and because of that. How are you going to handle that particular issue? Are you going to be judging somebody in absentia, or are you going to be carrying the court to the prison and stuff like that? That's the number one question.
All right, thank you very much. First, let me start by saying that I appreciate the Honorable AG and my CEO for giving me too much credit. Ebonyi was not just chosen because I'm from Ebonyi. There was an assessment, and there were things that we found in Ebonyi, and I must give credit to the current administration. For instance, Ebonyi State is the first state to sign on to the Model Correctional Services Law, which means that Ebonyi is planning and seriously working towards having a correctional center owned by the state. So for us, that was a step in the right direction and a clear indicator to a forward-thinking state, to a state that was, innovative. And to also thank the Honorable, my Lord, the Chief Judge, for his innovations, because the things we have seen him do in the past few years of his taking over also made the donors look at it and say, okay, yes, Ebonyi should fit into it. So just to say that it's not just because I'm from Ebonyi, I made the project come. Yeah, that's no. I'm just so that other states can also know. So because one of the things we are doing is what we call the justice sector assessment. Is where we are ranking all the states in Nigeria to look at where they are in the justice scale. And we are glad to say that we've done Ebonyi, and by next week we'll be here validating what we've done. So it's just to say that Ebonyi is doing well already, and that's why we are able to attract donor funding to support what is happening in Ebonyi State. And now to your question, the issues about fair hearing and digital systems is one issue that have come up strongly, even amongst lawyers. You know, when we started talking about digital processes, some lawyers said, "Oh no, it's against the Constitution," and I'm like, really? What the Constitution says is that everybody should be entitled to fair hearing, right? And it also makes provisions that the courtroom should be an open space for everybody to come. So what we are doing is, instead of coming physically to the courtroom, we bring the court to the center. We bring the court to the prison yard, to the custodial center for you. So while the judge is in court giving his judgment or listening to you, you are already, your lawyer is in court. So what we need is your presence. And we are making away with physical presence and saying your virtual presence is as good as your physical presence. And one way we are complying with the law to make sure that it's a public place is that the links to the online, to the virtual courts will be circulated. Anybody, including yourself, Chika, can join any of the virtual hearings. I mean, last week we joined one that happened in Nasarawa State from Abuja. So we joined, and everybody is public, and it's even more compliant with the law than the one we come into a courtroom that is not enough to contain people. We spend government resources that we don't even have. We look at logistics issues of transporting detainees from their center. Abakaliki is blessed that the prison is even within the city center. Imagine where you have to transport people from Afikpo, for instance, to a court in Ohozara. Look at that distance and look at what may happen. Imagine if it is a case of terrorism. Imagine the high blood pressure that the prison wardens will have to have anytime they are taking somebody along that route on that long distance. You will agree with me that these things must be dealt with. And moreover, the world is switching to a digital system. The world, in fact, the rest of the world has left us. The left of the world has left Nigeria in analog system. Most judges are retiring early because of the stress of judicial duties. Most judges retire and become useless. They really can't do anything. You see that they are having Parkinson's, or there's one sickness or the other because of the stress in going through this process. I mean, God has made life easy for us. Let's not make it a lot more cumbersome for people.
Thank you very much. I'm not letting you go. Okay, let's look at it from the technical aspect of it. Now, this is Nigeria. We must not tell ourselves lies.
Yep.
The rest of the world, they left us. It's true. But like this one now that we want to join them, how do we handle the technical aspects? One, cases like, for you to do this, you need network. Okay? How do you handle telecommunication networks? How do you handle power?
All right.
How do you handle the likes of misspellings of these words, like the
speech to text.
All
right. So
how do you handle this? Because when I want to speak in my Ezra language, like what we were calling the Attorney General to come and rescue his brother, how would they? Did we plan for that?
All right. Yes, and our program approach really covers that. First, for internet, we are going to have 24-hour supply of internet to where these facilities will be housed. That's the Ministry of Justice and the State High Court premises. And we are not just dealing with, for instance, globally, one of the strongest internet service providers is Starlink. And one of the things we are going to work on is to bring Starlink to those locations. So we are going to have unlimited access to internet for the purposes of this. However, that's for the virtual court hearing and other things. The speech to text facilities does not really require internet to function. The technology we are deploying does not need, whether there is internet or not, you do your speech to text. And we have tested it in 3 states. In fact, just to say that PPDC exported this idea to Gambia, and the Gambian government is funding 65 courts to provide these same systems that we are doing. So for us, we have tried it out, and it is currently at a 97% accuracy. in terms of even picking our, the way I can say my com is not the way the white. What happens is by the time you read through and ensure there are no errors or the margin of error, everything made of man or made by man is bound to have those errors. But something that 97%, I would dare to say is almost very, very efficient, and we are using that. So I have talked about internet. I've talked about the tonal and intonation issues. For dialect, it's not able to interpret your dialect. If you speak in your dialect, it's going to record what you have said the way you have said it. And of course, but we know that currently the language of the court in Nigeria is English language. So even if you speak in your dialect, the court is expected to provide an interpreter for you. So it's recording what you've said and what the interpreter has said. It even makes it more transparent that everyone who comes can read it and see that is what you said. Remember the story, I'm sure you must have heard of the story of the days of the white men when they said, can we hear from the horse's mouth? And the interpreter says, and then you say, who brought the horse here? That my Lord is asking who brought the horse. And they went and brought horse and gave to the clerk, thinking that was what the judge said. So, but this system makes it in a way that both what you've said and what has been interpreted will be recorded. And everybody, once the judge stands up from sitting in a day, you print the record of proceedings immediately. You can request for your copy immediately. It also has a video playback. So it's a recording device as well. It has a video playback so that, my Lord, I said this man is an idiot. Sorry. And my Lord says, no, you can't say that in my court. My Lord, I never said that. He said, okay, let's go back to 3 seconds ago. Did he really say this? And it's there for everyone to see.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll get back to you on storage. What do you think? But before you answer that, cherished listener, this is Issues on 98.1 Salt FM. This is that time when you can call in to make your contributions. If you've got questions, please do ask. If you have comments to make, please go ahead and do that. And the number is 0813 593 3112. Let me know, what did you do about storage?
So I will answer storage
when I say storage, now.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to answer in two ways. I'm going to also, because there's an aspect that we seem to be forgetting, which is our filing, our archiving, and that's also storage to us. Yeah, because we are also moving from the physical files. I mean, we were in the courts today, and we saw how the files were kept. Thanks to the CGA, he has provided for static racks where they are kept, but we've assured him that we are moving them from just the manual static racks to digital movable filing rack system to make that good. But on the storage of the data that will be used, collected from the court cases and all of those, we are using a two-way storage system. We're going to save on the cloud. And you agree with me that what is saved on the cloud, as at this moment, is almost impenetrable. I'm being very careful not to speak like the designers of Titanic ship that eventually found its way to sink. But I would say that we are saving both, we are storing both locally and on the cloud.
Okay, thank you. Someone just came in. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Chika. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Your name and location, please.
My name is Joshua. I'm calling from Abakaliki.
Joshua Argo. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, I want to sincerely appreciate you people for this wonderful program that you are doing.
You're welcome.
I like it so very much.
God bless you, sir.
So I pray that God will continue to energize you people to bring us a more program that we like.
Amen.
Okay. Thank you.
God bless you, sir.
All right. Okay. It's called to appreciate. God bless you, Joshua Argo. Okay, still on 98.1 Salt FM, 0813 593 3112. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chika.
Thank you. Your name?
I am Jonah Utu and I come from Akese.
Jonah, inside my studio, look at fish, but go ahead, sir. All right, go ahead, Jonah.
Yeah, good afternoon to the guests in the studio.
You're welcome.
Yeah, today we are talking about to fast track the judiciary system in terms of
correct.
Let me first of all commend the PPDC for accepting to use Ebonyi as one of the pilot states. I think my commendation goes to the chief missus in the house, Abagi, Mrs. Abagi. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I want to say that the world is on the move and we move along. However, my fear is about sustainability. I just said that the donor agency is sponsoring this program. I want to ask, how do we sustain this program when the donor agencies withdraw their support? The second part is what they've said, and I want to reinforce that about training and the big training of all staff members of staff in the judiciary system. They require regular training and retraining of staff to enable them meet up. The which also has been said is about system failure. But I know that through regular maintenance and regular training will come to perfection. I comment it again. Thank you and God bless you. Don't notice my name.
All right, thank you very much, Jonah. Attorney General, that question was actually meant to come to you after some calls would have been picked because they would be working for 1 year. Hopefully, they would extend like the CEO promised. But at the end of that, it's now going to be, of course, you accepted that when they are done, you're not going to be taking over. What do you see the sustainability of this? At what rates do you think is possible?
100%. You see, like he asked the question, he even gave the solution,
Yes.
the answer.
Yeah.
You know, so the sustainability is there. Number one, the state is committed to. In the first place, like I said, Kenichukwu will bear me witness that I almost gave him a sleepless night. I said when I approached him, I said you can't come from Ebonyi. And you're going to other states without coming here. This is a do or die, yo. And that's so I told him I cannot return back home without this. So we finally got. So it's not as if they came on their own. We've been on their neck,
Okay.
you know. And then also that's to show you how desirous and zealous we are over this. As a state, we want it. So when the CEO was thanking us for open door, I was just smiling. We don't have any option because we asked them to come, to intervene, to help us. So we must guide this project jealously. And so for the sustainability is there, we are going to do everything possible. Number one, if they are doing 5 number of court digitalization and automation, the state should be able to do like 6, 7. That's to show we are ready for this project and we're going to pay our counterpart funding and we're going to sustain it. Even when they hand it over, within this 1 year they are going to be with us, they are going to be trained. Before now, we have even sent lawyers and they have trained them. Like 5 lawyers from the state had gone to for their training that are ready to assist them as support staff. And so within this 1 year, they are also going to train more staff who will, when the handover, will continue with this process. You know, so for the sustainability is there. So when they leave, we're going to man it very well. And while they are here, we'll be understanding them. And then see what they are doing so that when they go, we'll be able to do whatever. And let me also add, Chika, all we have been saying, a bit of this, all we have been saying are all geared towards crime disposal. Outside crime disposal, the advantage of this is even more inherent in civil matters. I am a member of Legal Professionals Disciplinary Committee, and we already have this in our system. If you are someone to appear before the legal professionals, you can be in UK and then appear. So the advantage of this is civil matters. You don't need to, like, let's say you have a land matter in Abakaliki and you have a program in Lagos. You can go for your program in Lagos. While you're in Lagos, the day that is your matter is for hearing. You just join from Lagos and then be in Lagos and then be part of the hearing in Abakaliki. And then, so you don't even need to come to court physically. You can be in your bedroom and then tell my Lord, I'm here. And your matter will go. You must not be in court. You see, and the people who are in standing trials in criminal matters that are on bail do not necessarily need to come to court. So that is the beauty of this project.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. This is the Trump Dr. Chika, where I'm the distinguished hack there in the studio. This is Dr. Batrisi.
Welcome, please.
Thank you so much. So let me applaud the digital Honorable Attorney General.
Thank you, Prof.
The metric reforms in the administration of justice in Ebonyi State.
Thank you.
Yes, I have some concern. One, every technology is driven by energy supply. And here in example, I can testify. Since this October, we have only had electricity for 2 hours. How do we want to go about this? Especially in the rural areas, we need power to charge our phone, to be able to hook up. You mentioned about network issue as well. I listen to EBBs every day. There is technical issues to connect to network news every day. How do we handle this? Then, secondly, I am also advocating for proper case management. There is need to increase the jurisdiction of magistrates. I have said this before, and I continue to say it. The High Court is overloaded. That is why they are having the pressure. If we increase the jurisdiction of magistrates to even handle cases up to life imprisonment, let the High Court be concentrated with capital offences. It will do us a great deal for case management. And it is on this note that I also advocate for appointment of more judges to cope with the pressure of cases in their court. So finally, I want to complain to the Honorable Attorney General. All the criminal cases in our magisterial district are now transferred to Abakaliki. I don't know the reason. For more than 6 months now, every case, they say there is no state council here. I don't know what they are talking. I have contacted the CP. I have also complained to the DPO. But this is the status quo here. We are suffering.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
I'll answer him later after this on this the last issue.
On the last issue,
Yes.
I was thinking I was thinking I'll refer that case to your office. Well, anyway, you can talk about it.
All right, thank you very much, and thank God that the AG came with us, so he will answer the ones that are specific to him. On the on the issues of increasing the jurisdiction of the magistrates, right? A bit of that has to do with some constitutional issues that are beyond what we can do at the state level. But our approach from PPDC towards these issues is that we look at the available system and look at what we can do with what is available. For instance, we are a CSO, we are a non-government organization, and we should be there fighting government, saying no. But we look at it and we say there are approaches where you need to cooperate with the government to see the changes you need to find. And this, our specific project is one of those areas. On the issue of energy supply, all the systems we are supplying for each of the courts are going to be solar powered. They are going to be fully solar powered. We are not dependent on, and just to say, the issues of power is not just limited to Ebonyi State. For instance, we have a court in Plateau State that almost for 1 year, we've not seen power. So the initial design we had was to have an inverter that, is charged with power, and then after a while, but when we saw that, look, there was no power, we had to switch to 100% solar. And we have those plans in place. But we can only provide that energy supply to the courts, the ministry, places where our systems are deployed. For the individual lawyers who are appearing before the courts, they might need to seek alternative power supply for themselves. Thank you very much.
Just to add to, our electricity bill has just been passed into law. So we are also trying to also have our own power plant, to add to this, and very soon, once the whole various stakeholders have been consulted, we'll be having our power plant very soon to supplement to their effort. And like he has said, they are going to also be giving us solar source of power to help us. For people who are appearing on their own, they can sort that out. Then lastly, for the issue he raised as transferring of matters to this, now the issue was brought to my knowledge, and then there's a change in administration. I had already posted the person to head the Directorate of Public Prosecution in Izembo, and I raised this issue. I am sure that all the matters that were transferred from Izembo to Abakaliki by whoever that did it before my appointment, not now, before my appointment, I've asked that they all go back to Izembo. I've appointed a head, I've started, and I am sure all this thing that he raised has been sorted out. So there is no, all the matters that were transferred have been assigned again back to Izembo. So that's just the answer.
In case it is not been, you notice anyone that has not been just raised up the...
Very well.
Yeah. Raise it up again.
Very
and
well.
Someone is here. Hello?
Chicky word worldwide.
Oh, local gara, can't get now, Tanya. Ejimia. You're welcome, sir.
Iwigwe.
Isaru. Iwigwe, you're welcome, please.
I'm lawyer, sir. Your boy is lawyer, sir.
I didn't work with you.
Thank you.
All right. I know that he's your friend. For now, you have less than 20 seconds to talk. Fine. Can you get to the point, please?
The point is that they should look into all this, magistrate and judges, that is money passage of justice. So please expect them. Those whom we must give them money, or those whom money will be over, if your money is over, you now make judgment whether you are wrong or wrong. That is very, very expensive because it is telling us who are troublemakers and trouble givers. That is the issue. I'm not trying to be people. They bad trouble to them, can't go to God. That's the issue. So if we go to God, if we don't have much money, we make company kids, they all this kid, then they allow our justice to reign. That is the magistrate and judges.
All right, thank you so much. Let me take one more call before I go. Hello?
Yes, Chick, I will. Please, I want to know, Dr. Ituma comes back.
Okay,
I
Ituma.
want to know if the digitization program is applicable to all the hierarchies of court, from customary court, magistrate, and high court. Is it applicable to all, or is it only limited to high court?
Okay, programs manager, go ahead and attend to that.
All right, Prof, thank you very much for raising this. So, like we said, this is a pilot, and we do not, our program approach does not believe in just coming to throwing Greek gifts to people and not saying how that is going to be implemented. So for us, we are setting up the project advisory committee who will advise us on which courts to move with, and we will strictly abide by the project advisory committee's decision. And that committee, fortunately, the co-chair of that committee is here with us here today. Today, in addition to giving us the office keys, he graciously accepted to chair that committee with my lord, the CJ. So the committee will sit together and tell us which courts that are very busy and which courts we will start with. And like we said, we are doing the pilot. We hope that the state will come in. We hope to also look for other donors outside of the current donors, that is the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, INL Law of the U.S. Embassy. We're also reaching out to others, corporate citizens, private lawyers like Doctor, who may be willing to support what we are doing, who can say, okay, I want to do one court. Then we'll tell him which court to do and what it entails to do one court. So we are going to leave that open. We are not saying it's just in the high courts or in the magistrate courts, but we're going to look at it. For instance, in some states where we've been, the CJ has told us, look, You can't do just the high courts. Do some magistrate courts as well, and we are back there now doing some magistrate courts. So it's going to be left for the project advisory committee, which is based in Ebonyi, to actually decide and tell us which courts to move to. We only know in terms of numbers how many we can
Thank
take.
you very much. Time is not a good one. You know, sometimes when you have something important talking about, time will now be moving very fast. When you have nothing doing, time will delay you. Can you imagine? Just a few hours ago, a few seconds ago, I came in here and they're now saying it's up to an hour. We must have to go. Quality.
Government social media. But I want to call on citizens to hold the government to account. We want to call on the citizens to ensure that you hold the Honorable AG to account. The word is giving us on sustainability, on counterpart funding, on enormous support to ensure that justice is served to the common man is kept.
Thank you very much. I'm not even scared of what you said. After all, he brought you. Yeah, I said, look at the whole year. Your final words, sir.
Just to assure Ebonyans that we will stop at nothing. We'll stop at nothing in providing unfiltered access to justice for every one of them, every citizen of Ebonyi State under this administration. It's part of our, in the People's Charter of Need, this is Charter of Justice. We will stop at nothing in providing unfiltered access to justice to every justice seeker in Ebonyi State. Under God.
Thank you very much, the Senior Programs Manager of Private and Public Development Center, for coming here today. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chika.
And then the CEO, PP